I'm gonna have to stop myself from crashing out right now. The things that I believe should be done to the caretakers of this individual, to the surgeon, I actually don't think I could say it on YouTube. Hey guys, welcome back to the Blaire White Project podcast, the first podcast of the new year of 2025. And I was thinking about opening this with just some New Year's resolutions, some things I really want to maybe change, in the new year. But I realized nothing was actually wrong with me last year. So we're just going to roll with a new year, same bitch type of vibe. Let's just roll right into the news and do our thing like we're supposed to. So this first one, I'm going to have to stop myself from crashing out right now because I was filled with so much rage when I saw this. You'll see why in just a second. I came across probably the most disturbing trans content I've ever seen in my life. And coming from me, coming from someone who's covered that for a decade or so, that's saying something. So maybe buckle in a little bit. We're just going to play it. All you have to do is watch it and you'll see what I mean. I don't know if I should cry or spiral into just unmitigated rage right now because it's clearly one of these two emotions. I'm really not feeling anything else. The things that I believe should be done to the caretakers of this individual, to the surgeon who did this to this individual, I actually don't think I could say it on YouTube. Or maybe just legally in general. Like, I wish the worst. Wish the worst. We've seen so much effed up stuff and like the medical abuse happening under the transgender, flag and movement and the surgeries that happen to minors. All of that is terrible in and of itself. And we know that. I just never thought I would see something like this. Someone who clearly is so... Let me just read about this person so you can actually know a few things about this victim, this objective victim. Her name is Mara J. Leroy. She's 19 years old. Her mother is a woke, of course, anti-Trump leftist activist, because why wouldn't she be? She transitioned while she was in high school, starting hormones while underage, and then got a double mastectomy at age 19. Mara has cerebral palsy and suffers from epilepsy. She also suffered from at least one stroke in the past, according to a fundraiser by her parents. And as of last night, the night before filming this, I looked at this person's Instagram, and in the bio, there was a GoFundMe for rent, food, and bills, which why this person wouldn't be able to have their, at the very least, food covered by disability. I mean, this is clearly a disabled person. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the victim here raising the money or someone on the victim's behalf. But either way, the idea of this person consenting to these surgeries, I guess it goes without saying. We don't even have to even go down that route. It's clearly not happening. This is clearly neurological. Just a stroke alone. You could narrow it down to just a stroke, right? You don't have to even know the ins and outs of cerebral palsy, which I don't know all the ins and outs. Just a stroke alone before the age of 19. Very, very disturbing. It makes me extremely angry that this is happening. And for me, I just feel like, I've gotten a lot of different types of emails and messages since the last election. Wait for it, I'll tie it in. Since the election, it's a lot of people asking like, Blaire, how do you feel about the new administration? And do you have any worries about being under Republican rule, any backlash against trans people and trans rights and blah, 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 all the same stupid shit that you always hear, right? Or at least I most definitely always hear. And it's crazy because the idea that, first of all, backlash against, this community and this medical establishment is not deserved. It's actually deserved. And so if you're asking if I'm personally worried about anything against me, absolutely not. I'm going to always be good. Know that, believe that, trust in that, because I do. And so for y'all that want to message me asking, about any future backlash in this new administration, here's my position. The trans community deserves a timeout, babe. Yes, the doctors doing this shit. The Nazi Operation Paperclip ass scientists that are doing this type of shit deserve a timeout. Deserve way worse, actually. See, the trans community, we're just going to give you a timeout. The surgeons, what they used to call that public flogging, I'm thinking that needs to, let me not, hi YouTube. Hi, terms of service, love you. Love the financial support you've offered me over the years. And so I'm not going to cross any lines, but hopefully y'all can read between the lines. If you're watching this, absolutely disgusting. But if you're watching on Rumble, perhaps, we got to, I'm not saying that that would be great. But this is so much more of a concern than any hardship that the community may face after a complete inability to address the medical abuses like this happening to minors and now disabled people. Wow, you would think that it can't actually get any lower, right? You would think, my God, they're doing this to like 16-year-old, and all of a sudden now you're seeing this. This person cannot even communicate. And I'm not saying that means they're completely lost, neurologically, but I don't have to even explain myself here. You get it. According to all these photos on social media, this person is wheeled around Congress doing political photo ops with YouTubers and other activists. And, the parents whose info I will also put on the screen, these disgusting. I feel like I'm misgendering them, even calling them parents. Like they don't actually deserve those labels. Those are not accurate terms. You have here this person doing testosterone updates. And it's like, I understand that there's nothing to be embarrassed about per se on behalf of, this individual that they have certain movements they can't control and sounds and all of that. Like, I'm not trying to shame this person for those at all. All I'm saying is, why is this person being filmed in this manner and put out? It's just not very dignified. Let's just say that. It just feels extremely exploitative. It's demonic. I don't care how offended you are at me using that phrase. You do not have to believe in anything biblical. You don't have to have any kind of, religion or not even be that spiritual to recognize that evil exists. It has a source from somewhere. And what is this if not born out of the pits of fucking hell? And no, I am not talking about the victim. So any one of y'all that want to try to twist that into me bullying this person, that's really not going to work. That may have worked in 2018, 2019, 2020, when you can make your little anti-Blaire White videos and I could just breathe the wrong way and it's like all this hate. This is what's wrong. And it's crazy because there's money being raised on behalf of this person for food and rent and bills. How'd you pay for the double mastectomy? That's clearly thousands of dollars. I don't understand. It's very, very dark what we're looking at. And if it is covered by insurance, I'm going to need to know why my tax money went to this. That's what I'm going to need to know, because this is, first of all, child abuse because the transition began when the victim was underage, but also this is disabled abuse. I don't know if there's some kind of woke ass term for that, right? Y'all have terms for everything. But then... But what's crazy is like I would probably just sooner be called ableist by y'all than this being some form of demented ass ableism, what they're doing to an actual disabled person, right? When it comes to the community, and I'm getting so tired of even saying that phrase. How many years have I been saying the community? This is not a community. It's just so interesting how now, I'm seeing so many people in the community, and I really don't want to sound bitter, but I am. Now y'all want to do this U-turn after, we've hit the Titanic of being, being anti-woke or trying to call out the liberal trans stuff and take things another direction. And it's not as if I'm not somewhat like, okay, that's good, because it is, but a bit too late. Maybe we could have identified that Blaire White was right about a few things and not called her a Nazi before the disabled child got the double mastectomy. Like maybe that could have happened before that. And it's not about me, right? It has not been productive to all of a sudden want to do a U-turn right before and now right after it's all gone to I'm just tired more than anything. I have to be so real. I feel like, and I've said this before, and like it's a little bit deep, it's a little bit whatever, but it is what it is. Sometimes I just don't feel like I'm trans. And no, I'm not saying that means I need to detransition. I think that whatever I am / have, it does involve this whole like, you know, gender variation in neurologically or what the ever, something in the womb, the fluoride, whatever you want to call it. Pick a culprit. So I'm not saying that's not there. But if this is what trans is, right? I don't know. I ain't got shit in common with that. Thank God. This is on the hands of everybody who sat year after year after year when case after case after case of medical abuse in the trans medical industry occurred, when common sense continued to be eroded for how we treat trans issues. And everyone was just compliant because A, they were spreading the BS themselves, or B, they didn't want to ruffle feathers or rock the boat with their friends who agreed with this bullshit. For everybody that wanted to sit back, watch it all happen, watch it all unfold and spiral, who just sat back, wanted to keep it cute, collect your likes. See, y'all are so worried about getting likes. How about getting right with God? How about not going to hell? Because this is shit of the devil. And again, I wish this person all the best. This has been nothing against this person because obviously, I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to twist it because that's what they do. They always get it twisted. But, you know, all the love and empathy for this person, none for the parents, and hopefully severe punishment soon for the surgeons.